I think we, like a lot of us, love the idea of living a good life story. The pages are being written every day that we live and breathe, and along the way, the biggest irony is going on, and that's that as it's all happening, we can't see the end ourselves. And I suppose we don't even know which story archetype our wandering souls have been dropped into. Is this a comedy or a tragedy, a rebirth, or a quest? I don't know. But I do know that today's voyage out to sea on a sailboat that we've made into our home is a good chapter, all of its raw authenticity included.
All right, everybody. This is a bit of a real-time, real-life update of what's going on. This is a birthday cake. Yesterday was my birthday. We just got back from...
It's 2 years old.
We just got back from the boat show. It's been about a week. But I want to say thank you to everybody that we met. We had a great time in Annapolis. We had a lot of fun meeting everybody and all of the parties and after parties and after parties. Thank you for everyone that came up and said hi, that bought t-shirts, that came and spent some time with us, shook our hands, gave us hugs, told us your stories. A couple days after we got back from the boat show, we both got pretty sick. And so we tested and we had COVID. So we have been fighting COVID, celebrating birthdays, and doing some boat projects. I wanted to pause the video right now to talk about our sponsor, which is Cuts, because Cuts sent us some shirts for while we were at the boat show, and this is one of them. This is just like one of their basic tees. This is a Pika Pro materials, which is like super soft, keeps its shape, and this shirt, the actual one I'm wearing right now, was in our luggage. I took it out of the luggage just now, and it was super wrinkled because it was literally shoved in a suitcase and traveled a lot of miles, and then left in that suitcase for the time that we've been sick, and I was like, shoot. So I pulled it out, threw it in our dryer on our washing machine on air refresh, pulled it out, and it's perfect. So this is like the perfect material for us because we don't have an iron on board. But while we were there in Annapolis, we wore their shirts pretty much every day for all of those after parties that we went to, because these are the perfect work leisure attire. That's pretty much what the boat show was for us. It was work leisure. Anti-wrinkle, super minimalist. The logos are super minimal. These are kind of just like classic long-term shirt. The one thing that we didn't get that I think is probably going to be my next purchase from them is one of their hoodies, which are made with like the super awesome stretchy Hyperloop fabric. So I think that's probably in my shopping cart for next time. But this shirt that I'm wearing now is pretty much the only shirt that Jade will cuddle me in because it's so soft. And this is one that she compliments every time I wear it.
Tell them why.
Well, okay. I say it's soft. It is super soft. But also it's, I don't know, however they weaved it, whatever, that like my chest hairs don't poke through it at all. And so she can cuddle me without getting like prickly peared on her. So, I don't know.
And it is the best. It is so much nicer.
It is super nice.
Wife approved.
Yes, wife approved. So, if you are somebody who wears clothes, go check out Cuts. Go to cuts.team/expeditionevans. They're going to give you 15% off if you remember to use our code expeditionevans at checkout. So thank you, Cuts, for sponsoring us. Thank you for dressing us at the boat show. And I think Jade and I are off to go take a nap because we are still sick.
Enjoyed the video. We put a lot of sicky work into this one. Love you. I'm currently air frying fried rice because we are out of propane and I was trying to prep some stuff for the sale today. And so we're air frying it, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm not confident, but I already...
It looks good, though.
I mean, I crisped up the eggs and the vegetables in there, or the rice and the vegetables, and I just gotta cook the egg part. We'll see.
Experimenting.
Update coming soon. We're currently anchored in Big Farmers, off Big Farmers. We're about to go through some shallow waters. Our boat is 6 feet deep, so we had to make sure that it was all timed right. Otherwise, we would basically end up sitting on the ground until the tides came back in, which is not ideal. So we waited for the tides. We're now gonna go because it's a narrow window. We gotta hit it just right. So we're about to leave. That's in. Let's raise the anchor.
I didn't have the camera, but I just grabbed it. Guess what? The engine started. First try. We're running. We're ready to go. Jason, can go raise the anchor.
I love the Exuma's water. I feel like the Exuma just has a slight tinge of blue that Long Island didn't have.
Oh, I just heard a ding.
Let's go see. Air fried rice. It's totally burned. It's all burned, guys. I can see the blackness. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. We are currently motoring our way through the shallowest part of the whole passage. Right here, leaving the islands, leaving the Exumas, it's very shallow. So we just motored our way kind of in the deepest area of sand where it was only 7 feet deep and we're 6 feet deep. So we did that very carefully. And now... And successfully. 0 sand touching today. So it's time to deploy the sails.
Deploy. I like it.
Like a parachute?
Sails. Deployable.
What's our wind angle? Just go for it. Let's the keys. Whoops.
Nice. Silence.
Tell everybody what's going on. I gotta tether the dogs.
We had a fish.
Oh, is it off?
Oh, yeah.
Aww. Dang it! Is it?
There's nothing there.
Okay.
I'll check our lure.
See if the lure's still there at all.
Yep. Well, your little yellow thing is gone.
Yeah, we got
Do we have
that.
another one?
I think that was the last one. Bummer.
We can like rig something up.
Something tail looking.
Yeah.
Well, we have like the end of the line. What's your opinion on air fried fried rice?
Very crunchy. It's good though.
What's the texture of the eggs? Is it good?
It's kind of like over. It's like if you microwaved eggs. Have you ever microwaved an egg
No.
in a cup?
No.
Well, it's like that.
We're temporarily saying goodbye to the clear water. I guess this water up here is probably also clear, but it's just going to be a lot. We're saying goodbye to the shallow clear water because we're about to be crossing into what's called the tongue of the ocean.
We are just about done with the shallow water. I think right now we're in like 15 feet of water, and pretty soon we're gonna be in like 1,500 feet of water, maybe more. It's pretty deep. So
Up to 7,000.
up to 7,000. So we're entering the tongue of the ocean. Jay just said it's sometimes referred to as Toto. Tutu. T-O-T-O. Tongue of the ocean. And it's basically just this really deep tongue-looking shape of, I wonder what it is. Maybe it's like volcanic or that we're entering the Kraken. It is kind of like a crack. Anyways, we're about to cross into that, and we'll be sailing across that for the rest of the day, into the night, across the tongue of the ocean, and then we should arrive back into the shallows at night, but it should be high tide if we keep up our pace. And then we'll keep going.
I should probably make this spaghetti last longer.
Yeah, Jade's been chowing. I made like 8 servings of spaghetti, and Jade's gone through 4 of them today.
Look, rolling girl. I think I want some spaghetti too. But the most important thing to keep in mind with the tongue of the ocean and what's about to happen is that we're in the super shallow water, and it's one of the steepest drop-offs. It might be the steepest drop-off that we've ever had. It just is like, whoop. And these drop-off areas are where the fish hang out, which means that if we're going to catch a fish today, the statistical likelihood is that it is going to be right there at the drop-off. We have 3 lines out. Currently, I think all 3 have seaweed on them. We're gonna get the hang of this whole fishing thing. We're all out of tuna on board.
We have 0 fish on board. Not even goldfish.
We don't even have canned tuna anymore. We're currently completely out of fish on board. There's 0 fish on board. We caught those 2 conch and the lobster last time we went freediving.
Can you say you caught conch?
I collected conch. I swam 60 feet below the surface of the ocean.
It was actually 57, but we'll tell you 60.
3 feet.
I just meant it is. I just meant it is 60.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah. Okay. But then we cleaned them at Spirit Animal and then left them on board their boat, so we didn't have anything. And we had no other luck that day or the following day. Spearfishing, so we have no fish. And this morning we ate the last of our canned tuna. I think we have like 1 chunk of frozen roast beef, ground beef, I mean. Yeah. Which means we need to catch fish desperately, especially tuna. If we could catch a tuna, that would be good.
It's what my favorite parts of being on a crossing were. And I had to think about it for a second, and I think my favorite part is...
Brett does this thing where I'll say something to him and then he just doesn't say anything or make eye contact with me. And then like a few hours later, he'll be like answering my question. I appreciate how much you want to think about it and like give me a...
Okay, you'll do the same thing. You'll just like all of a sudden be like, okay, you remember when they were doing this thing? And like, who the heck are they? Like, oh, well, I was having this dream 3 days ago about them. You should know.
You should know. But also, if I say, what's your favorite part about the crossing? And then you go 5 minutes without making a peep.
It was 30 seconds.
It was an uncomfortable silence for me.
Well, why'd you make it uncomfortable? What was uncomfortable for me?
All right.
Anyways,
what's your favorite part?
This is ironic because what I was going to say is my favorite part of crossings is when Jade doesn't talk for a while. No, my favorite part is that there's nothing going on, and so we're left to just kind of like it be in our own minds and our own conversations, and so we talk about everything and anything, and sometimes really random things. Like today, we weren't talking about anything or really doing anything, and I asked Jade what the purpose of pantyhose were. It's like, what? Why were pantyhose, or our pantyhose really were, I think they still are, like why were they a thing? And so then she explained to me that it was because women wanted to have perfect legs, or society told them they needed to have perfect legs and cover them with a sheer piece of fabric that was then made it socially acceptable to show your legs, because that makes sense. So it's things like that just like random conversations about everything, and it's really fun.
So basically, out here we have the space to just have nothing else to do but talk about anything and everything.
That's it.
I was gonna say my favorite part is not talking and just like reading a book, but
You can say that. It'd be a lie, but you can say it.
do any of you guys have tricks for not getting seaweed on your hooks all the time? feel like every 5 minutes we get a clunk of seaweed.
You got it.
You get it?
Oh, not all of it.
Some more still. Somebody got the tail.
Oh, somebody bit the tail off.
You can even see the pattern of their teeth.
Really?
Yeah, if I was an expert, I'd be able to tell you what it was. That's definitely a bite mark.
Shark.
Shark.
You want to tell us about your jigging over there?
I'm trying to make the lure look delicious. Do you think it's working?
Yes.
It's also a great tricep workout.
Yeah.
Come on, fishies. We're going over the drop off right now. Well, the comment section is going to be like, Jade, what you're doing is making the fish swim farther away from you.
Right? You're scaring them.
Dang it, that fish wants our lure. Oh my goodness. There's a fish gonna get it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was. Where'd it go? Maybe it'll come back. It totally wanted it. I saw it.
It was either a mackerel or a barracuda.
I'm gonna choose to believe it was a mackerel.
I'm going to say it was barracuda because you didn't get it.
But there might be more.
Well, if we get a mackerel, then it was mackerel.
Do we still have it? It's still there?
Wow, he definitely hit it hard.
It was all ripped up.
Yeah.
Ouch.
This thing's seen better days.
Wait, can you turn it so I can see it? Ouch. I love that Penny is willing to sit here for hours and look for fish with us. And she's just as happy as she was 2 hours ago.
So are we?
It's true. Fingo's over there napping.
Yeah, he's like, I give up.
He's
Let me know
like,
if
let
we
me
catch
know if
one.
there's a fish, yeah. That's how you just said?
Yeah. I feel the same way. Let me know when you catch one, dude.
Okay, Penny will let us know. I can probably take it.
So what's your thoughts on...
You got something. I feel like I should repower the sail.
Okay. Whoa!
Bring it in. What is it?
It's off now.
No! We lost it?
Yeah.
I should have repowered the sail faster. I got the camera. What was it?
It was either a barracuda or a...
Oh, it's still there.
No, it's not.
Oh, it just caught the other line?
Yeah.
Bummer.
You can see it come out of the water?
No, I didn't see it. I was trying to get the sail down. What do you think we could have done to not lose the fish?
I could have let it run longer instead of started reeling it in right away. Try and tire it out.
This is one of the ones that we've had 2 bites on now. It's the same. But this one another time lost it. This one lost its tail one time. Got gnawed off. Yeah. So I added a little tail.
See how it does?
I don't know.
See if it makes it swim?
The fish, the surface fish like the squiddiness.
And now you're making a 4th line out for us, huh?
I'm just increasing the chances.
Do we have any more metal leader?
Should I do metal first?
Yeah.
Because you think they'll just bite through this?
No, they have multiple times.
Through this part?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second.
Stuff's pretty terrible, actually.
Yeah, it really. It doesn't tingle so bad. But, like, it untangles easily. I mean, it doesn't actually knot. It just gets this.
So we need to deal with these sails. They're all over the place. Sail, at least. We wanted to go wing on wing because the wind is sometimes directly behind us, but then also sometimes it's 30 degrees off this way and then 30 degrees off the other way.
A bit too variable.
It's a little too variable to go wing on wing without like a jibe preventer and a spinnaker pole or something like that. Then you could do it.
Hey, we were considering. We asked for spinnaker recommendations.
Opinions on spinnakers. We don't have one, but we're thinking, wow, if we had a spinnaker right now, we'd be fine because it wouldn't matter as much with the variable wind. Thoughts, opinions? Let us know.
Yeah, we don't have a spinnaker, and neither.
We have no spinnaker knowledge.
We've never sailed with a spinnaker even, but I feel like this is a spinnaker kind of day.
This feels very spinnaky.
We've got it in the water. Ooh, that looks delicious.
Oh, that looks. Penny wants it.
What's up?
The wind has calmed down and staying fairly steady at about 170 to port. So we're going to attempt wing on wing, but we're going to put up a jibe preventer just to keep the boom out that way, just in case the wind does shift. It will, I'm sure, at some point, or a big wave sets or whatever, to keep the boom from crashing across.
Go for it. Winning. Catch all the wind before it's all
of
gone.
it. All the wind.
Right now is the best weather window that was available for us for our time frame. We got to get out of the Bahamas. We've got to get to Mexico. We've got to get farther south. Yada, yada, yada. Now's the time to do it. The problem is that the wind will be dying in 2 days. Tomorrow?
So we just tied a line from the boom to the forward cleat, and I did it before pulling the sail out, and that may have been a mistake because now the sail has to come out at like, I'm not sure what that angle is. More than 45, 50 degrees maybe, 60 degrees. And I'm not sure if it's gonna make that turn very easily. It unrolls that way, so it should be able to do it, but it might be more friction than is worth. So we'll see here in a second. We may have to take off that preventer and then pull the sail out and put the preventer on. But we'll see, we'll find out. This is a good learning experiences.
Oh yeah. Whether or not we can get the sail out at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it. All up against the rigging.
Yeah, might be too much, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think our boom's out too far.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Interesting design that the boom can go out farther than the rigging should allow it to.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because the rig bends when you're sailing upwind. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll go let off on the preventer.
Okay, and I'll winch it all in.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
I'm just pulling this in until it's not putting any pressure on the rigging anymore. How's that? Good?
Yep.
Bingo! Katie says we have a fish. I don't see anything.
Cool.
What's our wind angle now?
I don't know. Look.
Oh, 172, I don't. Our speed. What's our speed? 6 knots? What were we doing before?
5.
So you picked up a whole knot?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, the camera's rolling when you got it.
Where is it? The sail actually came out super easy. I pulled out by hand, no problem. So here we are. The wing on wing action. Trying to catch all the wind that we can. All of it. It's pretty awesome.
Brett has taken to vacuuming the entire cockpit of all the dog hair. On crossings like this, we basically live right here. Like, this is it. we kind of just stay outside the entire time, all 4 of us. And so the dog hair just accumulates in this one spot and makes our home very dirty.
Ton of seaweed on that one. It actually sprung the bungee. Now we know the bungee works.
Yep.
On downwinds like this, it's super nice because it's easy to clean. Like we can actually walk around and clean and vacuum and wash down with water, and it's not a big deal. But we're doing those up end heels, it's like you just try to mitigate it.
You just try to ignore it, really.
Also that.
We still need a contact for Dyson. If anybody has it, drop it in the comment section. Because I think honestly we're probably one of their best brand advocates. What do you think?
I mean, we are putting this thing through its paces.
Thanks, Penny. Thanks, Dingo.
A happy boy.
We're keeping an eye on the fishing list. You can see the dog hair floating away. That sugar seaweed's actually dog hair. I officially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines in the water, all lured. I just kept going and I just kept going. So we started with 2. We still have more lures.
Oh, well why don't we have like 15 then?
I just don't think we have any more space in the back of the boat.
The problem is if we catch a fish and it decides to like run, it's gonna foul all the other ones.
But oh, I've got like a big camera shadow on my face. Sorry guys.
Why do you say fish run?
Maybe the person who made that up had a goldfish run away when he was a kid. Anyway, yeah. Now we have 3 times the chance of catching a fish. We've had 2 fish grab at our lures and go away. Both were mackerels, we think.
They look like it.
They could have been barracuda. We're not very good at identifying the differences. We can now. I can now. Because the mackerel have the pointy... Yeah, we've been really studying. Because the other day I was spearfishing and I'm like, oh, this stupid barracuda is so close to me. I should just bug it so it leaves. It was a mackerel. I could have shot a mackerel. So fish identification is important. But I was like talking about, I'm like, they look so similar. And Raph from Spirit Raph looks at me and he's like, no, they don't. I'm like, okay, not everybody grew up sport fishing, man. Not everybody was born knowing the difference between dorsal fins, okay?
We've spent at least half our day doing this. Oh, you made this one.
I did. Okay, so this weight and shimmer was inside of the gummy one that got destroyed by the mackerel earlier. And so I took the weight and the shimmer out and then I gave it a new tail. Well, I guess I didn't take the shimmer out, I took the fish off. And it actually swims pretty good. It like skips really well now. But mostly my day has been cleaning the seaweed off of them.
Yep.
I feel like, why did I not know that that was going to be a huge problem with fishing? Does that not happen to other people? Am I the only one who's getting seaweed in my fishing lines?
No, I get it too.
At least we're not together, babe.
Another one that we made. Our lure got eaten.
Why aren't we catching fish, Brett?
I don't know.
Do you think maybe we don't have the right lures?
Definitely not. I mean, obviously not. They've eaten our lures.
Brett and I did the same and adjusted the car, pulled it all the way back. I think that's where it should be for downwind sailing, and Brett's like, Brett pointed it out.
I don't know this, but I said let's try it.
I think that, I don't know. We've pretty much exclusively done upwind sailing since we've been sailing. So we have a lot to learn about downwind still. some trial and error type stuff. And I think, let's see how this goes. Do you think it's any better?
It's definitely a lot more sail. I think it is better. I think it's better positioned, but it just does not want to stay full. So I'm trying to adjust it a little bit more.
I think, is this when we need the spinnaker pull? Because of the swell?
Yeah, 100%.
You look very pretty right now.
Thanks.
Usually you're handsome. I feel like right now you look very pretty. Will you do a little eyelash flutter for me?
Well, right behind me, the moon is just coming up. And I don't know if you can see that cloud right there all around it. Occasionally, that cloud gets very bright. With lightning. So that's a little concerning. The other thing we have going on is where we're going to be at about midnight tonight is not ideal for trying to run at night. It's really shallow with the chart just shows rocks. It just rocks. And it shows, 14 feet of water, but also rocks. So that's not really something we want to try and be, sailing by braille through there. We also don't want to have to motor through there at all, but I think we are going to try, there's a spot that says it's a little bit of an anchorage. So I think we're going to try and anchor at midnight tonight, which looks like we can get in to that anchorage without having to deal with many rocks. But I think we'll get in there, drop the anchor, sleep until daylight again, and then first thing in daylight, it should be high tide, and get through those rocks. It really is kind of a bummer because the wind is going to die tomorrow, and so it sucks to not be able to use the wind tonight to sail for those 6 hours that we're going to sleep. But it's honestly, I don't think it's safe to try and run through that, especially at night for the first time. So that's the plan. I haven't seen that cloud spark while I've been on camera. Jay just went downstairs. She is going to make us some food to get us through. We have about 4 hours until we get to that anchorage. It's 8 o'clock now. So she's going to make us some food to get us through for the next few hours. And I'm going to keep an eye on that storm. And maybe start pulling in some of these fishing lines before they become a problem. What are you making?
Tortillas.
Tortillas.
And then I'm going to make a quesadilla.
Quesadilla.
Or, as it's authentically called, a cheese crisp.
Authentic cheese crisp.
My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, is Mexican. How did I say that?
It's from Mexico?
Well, he's not. He's from San Diego. My brother-in-law is Mexican-American, Mexican heritage, and an amazing chef. Amazing chef. He makes all the best stuff. And then my little niece, she went over to my mom's house, and my mom made cheese crisps. And now my niece refuses to call quesadillas quesadillas. She will only call them cheese crisps. And it's become quite the family inside joke. You guys are all in on it now.
That's pretty funny.
He's just always like, no, they're quesadillas. Nice catch. Nice catch. Did you finish eating? Okay. He's refused to play with me for like half an hour.
He was hungry.
I know. Dingo want it? Dingo. Dingo.
Get it. That's why I hit it.
Good thinking. Would you like some cheese?
Yes, we would.
Can you tell everybody what you're doing?
Perfectly. Right now, I'm smelling food.
What's up the speaker?
Oh, I was gonna play our podcast. I was gonna put it in the companion so we could both hear it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you get the Iridium working?
Maybe. It says it's working. We'll see if it actually downloads anything.
Okay. It makes me nervous because I feel like if our location disappears for my mom.
Right, we'll get like 7 countries Coast Guard show up.
She would.
I know.
She would freaking get China's Coast Guard here. I don't know how she would, but she would.
Did you know the camera cabinet's open?
Huh. This one doesn't actually have a latch. There you go. Quesadilla.
Thank you. I feel like the tortilla quesadilla salsa ratio might be a little off.
It's just right. Mostly tomato.
I'll save you some salsa.
Thank you. I'll just take it off your plate.
Yeah.
Will you tell everybody what's happening?
Can I touch it?
No, don't scare it away.
There's a black bird sitting on our bimini right now.
It's gonna poop on our solar panels.
Yeah.
Dude's just hitching a ride. We're so far from land, he's probably exhausted.
Freeloader. Stowaway?
The dogs are very interested in what's happening. Let's see if I can film it. Hello, fella. Have you enjoyed your time at sea?
Did that work?
Yeah. Will you tell us where the fish are, please? Get it out farther than the video. There you go. Hello. It's nice to see you, Frederick.
That's definitely a Frederick.
Definitely Frederick.
He's tired.
Yeah, look, he's breathing hard. Should we get him water? Hey, Frederick, I got you water. I'll just leave it right here.
Is that a lens cap that's going to be gone forever?
No, it's just like a jar lid.
Okay.
You think he'll come figure it out?
No.
You know, it's only salt water around, so.
It's kind of crazy that he's flapping away from us and staying with us. We're going downwind. It's hard to comprehend.
Don't meet Frederick.
Bingo. Settle. Now the second bird we've had hitching a ride with us under sail.
That first little one?
Yeah, the tiny little one.
Where was that? That was our very first passage.
Yeah, it was.
That one was cute.
That was really cute.
I hope Frederick comes back.
Such a bright moon.
It really is. What you want and how many you feel comfortable with and how many you feel like you can devote adequate resources and care and attention to. Here. Delicious.
What?
So this is delicious. When it does that and I'm inside, it sounds really bad.
Yeah, it's like traumatic sounding.
Mm-hmm. We have a fish on the line. We have a fish on the line.
We have a fish.
Okay. All right. Oh, it's that same line.
Minutes to spare. We just pulled in a fish. We haven't shined a line on it. We think it's a yellow jack. Might be a black jack. It's a jack for sure. But we gotta go because we gotta pull in the sails and motor through this cut.
And then we'll have another look
And
at it.
then we'll turn on some lights and take a look at it.
The lures worked.
The lures worked! Woo!
No. All right. I will unfurl if you furl.
I'm untethered.
Okay. Come up on these rocks quick. Okay, let's go.
Let's start the engine first.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Woo!
Oh, thank goodness.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Go for it. You might need to use my little earring.
Yep. Thank goodness for your little earrings.
Thank goodness. Beautiful. And we're done. Just in time for some rocks. Okay, stand by. I am now controls. Dogs are tethered. Will you stand up there with the spotlight?
Sure, bye.
Or me? Well, because I see some waves crashing just right there. Okay, let's get out of here. Actually, maybe I'll do the spotlight and you drive.
Okay.
Just because it's nighttime and there's rocks.
Okay.
And I see waves cresting right there.
And
That's probably the
tether in
reef.
the back. Take another with you, tether up out there.
I will.
Controls.
I think a spotlight's a good idea, don't you?
Sure. Yeah, I think it is. Definitely not a bad idea. But make sure to hold on to something.
Yeah, my tether's inside. I will grab it. Can you guys believe that this is midnight right now? Look how bright the night sky is. You okay?
Yeah. Smell a little bit like fish. Other than that, I'm good.
This is probably the hardest part of the passage. Navigating this cut right now.
Yeah.
We're no longer in the tongue, now we're down the throat.
Really, though. We made it through the cut, and it's actually surprisingly calm in here, which is
Will you tell them how the cut went?
nice. The cut was not as bad as last night's cut.
Really?
It was not as much as a fight. It was longer, so it was probably like the same amount of exertion, except for this one it lasted like 2 minutes instead of like 30 seconds. So
Surfing these waves.
we were more surfing instead of like just like white knuckle fighting them. But now we're through, and we still have a couple miles until we get to the anchorage. And so we're gonna throw the sail back out and see if we can harness a little bit of wind to get us there with less fuel use.
I just don't find downwind sailing as intuitive as upwind sailing, which is hilarious.
Go for it.
Because downwind sailing is way more intuitive. Good job. I'm proud of your sailing. I like that we're both scratching out our bites.
Probably could have sailed through that cut. It was a lot wider than I was anticipating based on what the chart looked like.
With it being nighttime,
I know, it was like basically like, might as well be noon.
basically, we would have had more stability if we had sailed through the cut.
We would have. We did that last night. I don't know what we did tonight.
I think we're just a little fearful still.
Yeah. Still learning how to be a sailboat.
I think everything got thrown off a little bit with the fish.
Yeah. There was
Handle
blood. Luckily it wasn't mine. Jay's hooked. Now that we caught one fish, she's like, oh, let's catch all of them. Gotta catch them all.
We haven't caught a mahi yet.
Not yet. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be Mahi Day. Mahi Friday. This is so beautiful out here. I love that our camera can pick this up.
We know it's a jack, so I'm just trying to identify which jack it is. And we had a friend who's really good with fishing go through and mark all the fish that are good eating in our reef identification book. We're getting the hang of it, but the nuances between different types or different, I don't know. We know it's a jack, but we don't know which jack it is, if that makes sense. That's kind of where we're at with our fish identification skill level at this point. But we're really working on it. Every time we go out snorkeling or freediving or spearfishing, we come back and we look through the book because we need to know what everything is before we can start really hunting a lot. I think it's this horse-eye jack. Maybe. I don't know, it's just, I don't feel like it looks like either of these ones. It could be the horse-eye one, so it's got that giant eye.
Ooh, I could see that.
And it had the yellowish tail.
Ooh, it did, yeah.
Can I pull it in to see if we still have a lure?
Sure. Getting beat by a strap. We have the wind for it, so we are going to sail onto anchor. So we are basically pointed right at our anchorage now. We're going to go a little bit further, and then I'll turn us into the wind. We'll pull in the sail. Jade will run to the front, drop the anchor, and we're done. It should be that easy. That's the plan.
For it to be easy?
For it to be that easy and
That's
just
always the plan.
smooth and clean and
Yeah, just
perfect.
Surprisingly calm in here.
I got the sail in. Jade ran to the front. I'm proud of breath because I was pulling this to... Yeah! Jade needs a headlamp, if I can find one. Dropping the anchor. Engine is still off, so we motored onto anchor. No, we sailed onto anchor.
Yeah.
We did not motor.
I was like agreeing with you, but...
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
With no motor.
Whatever you say, honey.
That was great. Alright, we're all snubbed up. We just need to wait for it to set. Do your thing.
She's back there.
Yep. We got an extra chain, just over 100 feet, which we really only need probably like 50, 75-ish. But we have tons of room all around us. There's tons of room and nobody else around. So why not? It doesn't hurt at all to have more out. Also, yeah, the water, it's literally midnight. It's dark 30 right now. And I can see the bottom. Pretty cool. Would you like to be unclipped? Do you want to get unharnessed? Dog's been super good today. Go get Jade. Annie, do you want to go play? Go get Jade. Dingo. Go to the fish.
This anchorage is surprisingly protected. I thought it wasn't going to be protected at all. I was expecting us to drop the anchor and be miserable but safe, if that makes sense. But we're here and yeah, we're not protected from the wind at all, but there is no swell. The boat is just steady into the wind, and I am so glad we will all be able to get a good night's rest. We had to stop either way. We didn't stop for sleep. We would have kept going. We had to stop because we need the light. We are about to be entering a minefield? A minefield of bommies, basically, is what we're headed into tomorrow. Lots of coral, lots of rocks. So tomorrow when the sun is up, we'll be able to do that safely. In the meantime, Brett is filleting the fish. Filleting it, depending on where you're from. Who you ask?
It's pretty easy fillet.
Once we got the anchor set and everything kind of settled down, getting through that cut, we pulled out our fish identification book, which is my favorite book, like I said, and we flipped through them and we established that the fish we caught is a jack, like we said, but specifically it is a horse-eyed jack. Now, horse-eyed jacks aren't actually considered to be good eating necessarily. They're not like high quality. It's not something you are like, ooh, I really hope I catch a horse-eyed jack today. But it is worth keeping because it is edible and we haven't caught any other fish and we can always use dog food. So I don't know if we'll eat it, but I think because of the dogs, you'll probably see us from here and probably forever. Unless we're catching mahis every day of the week, I think we'll catch and keep a lot of fish other fishermen might throw back because the dogs don't care. They like all fish, and any supplemental food we can give them is good. Fish is super good for dogs. Good boy.
I just got out of the shower. I think one of my favorite things is to shower after a long sail. It just like washes off the salt and the grime and the fish and the scrapes and the bruises, and it just feels nice. And you have super hot water, really, really hot water.
Did you get singed?
Yeah, I turned to like my normal level, and then I had to go like way colder because when the engine does the heating, it gets hotter than when we do the electric water heater.
Will you explain that? I don't know if everybody knows how that works.
So we have a water heater, and it is heated two different ways. One is just electricity, either through batteries or the generator via the inverters. The other way is when we run the main engine, the coolant hoses run through the water heater as well. So once the engine gets hot,
it starts pumping hot water through and heating up the water in the water heater. So that water gets really, really hot. I mean, I don't know how hot it gets. Probably like close to 200 degrees. Jade says she's going to shower in the morning. Doubtful, but she says she will.
Oh my gosh. I don't like sleeping on wet hair.
I also don't like sleeping on her wet hair. All of our forks are ready. Why do we need a fork?
I'm going to debone it with a spoon and a knife. Wish me luck.
Apparently when I filled it, I
There's just a few bones. I just want to know.
cut a few bones.
I just am checking it.
So Jade is... Here, I'll show you what she's doing. So we're all... Sorry. We're out of propane. So she cooked this in the air fryer. And this is that horseye jack that we just got. There's another name for it, but I can't remember. Horseye jack? I don't know. But she's just going through and making sure there's no bones. Oh, apparently I missed some of the skin.
I don't think anybody will mind.
Nah.
Who wants back up?
Who
Back
wants fish?
Back up. Who wants a treat? Ooh, it's like dripping. Sit. Speak. Oh, come on. Speak. 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 Good girl, Penny. Dingo, speak. 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 Give me another one.
Those are pretty good.
Uh-uh.
There you go.
Dingo, wait. Speak. 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 Good boy.
Good boy. Wow. Chew it first.
We made sleepy time tea. Brett gave me the captain mug with 2 scoops of honey. So, feeling really loved right now.
Yeah, I think we'll drink this tea and sleep for 5 hours.
8, 9.
Yeah, till 8 or 9. And then up. The sun will be up. We'll be able to see the minefield of bommies.
And harness some wind.
Harness some wind, and we're out of here.
And we gotta get that wind and get ourselves as far as we can before the wind dies.
Yep.
We gotta get pretty far so that we'll have enough fuel to make it the last leg. Right, babe?
That's it. Because I filtered it. Like 7 teas in there.
We are about to sail off anchor for the very first time, or at least attempt to sail off anchor for the first time. No need for motor power on Esvieva. We have wind power. Right now we're a little bit sideways to the wind because of the current, and that's actually, I think, going to be very, very helpful.
Definitely.
I was trying to decide how you would do that, because usually you're pointed nose into the wind, so if you pull the sails out, you'll just be in irons. Anyway. I'm going to get the key on and I'm going to go undo this lever.
Okay. I don't know. Anchor alarm is yelling at me. Woot! Alright, now to get the rest of the sails going.
What?
I said I feel accomplished sailing off anchor. I think we could do it a lot better the next time.
We had to learn the techniques.
Yep.
About an hour from now, we're going to be going through what we keep calling the minefield. I keep trying to call it the bomb field, actually. The minefield of bommies. It's a bunch of coral heads, bunch of rocks. The chart is overwhelmed with them. And we are a bit overwhelmed with the idea of them. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Particularly Brett. No, just kidding. I'm also very nervous.
Particularly us.
But yeah, both of us. We are sailing right now We would like to sail all morning if we can. But there is a chance that these rocks, these bommies, are going to be so bad, so tall, so everywhere, so wanting to sink our boat, that we might have to motor so that we can maneuver a little bit quicker. Quicker maneuvering.
More precisely.
Yes.
But until then, sails out, lures out,
Thumbs out? Sun's out?
sun's out, bums out.
I poured you this. Thanks for the brewing this
Is it black?
morning. It is black. True sailor's drink.
I think it's rum. Is there rum in here?
I feel like we should get into like really fine coffee making. Like Uma. Doesn't Uma do that? Don't they make fancy coffee? They have like a bubbler.
I
I don't know what it's called.
You have a little whisk thing
Yeah.
to froth it. Nothing to report. Absolutely nothing. Other than we have collected is seaweed measured in gallons or pounds? Gallons
Like
and
pints.
pounds of seaweed with our fishing lures.
However,
0 fish.
I tied them all to the bimini, and the steeper angle is significantly reducing the.
Jade has brought them all in, so they're only like 6 feet off the back
No,
of the
they
boat.
were all like that far before. Okay, no, they weren't. They're all a little bit closer. But they're steep now. So the seaweed just kind of goes under them. Brett, acknowledge my accomplishment.
I am acknowledging. I don't know if it'll work.
I don't
I'm
know if
also
it'll
not sure
catch
if it's
any
gonna
fish.
happen when it catches a fish.
But I do know that there's less seaweed on it. It's like the people with the outrigger.
Yeah, the really tall poles and outriggers and stuff.
They probably don't catch very much seaweed.
They probably
Because
don't.
that's the angle.
Yeah, you're right.
They probably-
So we're, having fun and keeping ourselves busy. Mostly cleaning up seaweed. I think our hands are both getting raw from pulling in these lines over and over and over. The nice thing about them being so close, you only have to pull it in a few times instead of, a ton of pulls to get it in. You can just pull it in a little bit. But we're still downwind. We only have the head sail out because it isn't quite directly behind us enough for wing on wing, but it's super calm. I'm gonna go in and start cleaning up on the inside. I think I'll do some dishes, maybe run the vacuum around.
I was thinking we should have Alfredo for dinner.
And Jade's gonna make us Alfredo after I do the dishes.
I am so gay for that. But
You can make noodles in the Instapot.
I wish we had gnocchi.
Ooh, we could make gnocchi.
How?
I have no idea.
It's like what dishes I'll watch for correlates.
Okay. We're still playing Frogger with. Is it Frogger's not the right. I mean, not really Frogger. You ever play Bomberman? Everybody ever played Bomberman? We're playing Bomberman
That's what we're
with the
playing.
bombies. It's a fun game.
What's the one
Good
game
childhood
that
memories.
was like pre-programmed on the windows where you'd open it and it was all
Minesweeper.
gray and you had to
We're playing
click
Minesweeper.
one and see what happened.
Yep. Minesweeper. Dishes are all clean. I'm risking leaving them out to dry because it's so calm. We haven't rocked like at all. But I had a crazy thing happen. Check this out. There's the handle to the dish brush, and it just snapped right off. I wasn't even really using it. Like, I wasn't pushing it all. It just popped right off. How excited are you?
10 for
5
10.
excited?
10.
Jade established that she's about ready for a nap.
Can you guys tell? I spilled pasta all over the floor and Brett's like, that's unfortunate. And I was like, what? Didn't even notice. Time to sleep. But first pasta.
Always first pasta.
This has been, what is today, day 2, day 3? I guess it's day 1 because we anchored last night. This is a weird crossing. It's a shallow water crossing with some stopping. Today has just been calm. We've had very little swell, very little coral heads. The chart was misleading.
Well, the coral heads were very big.
Okay, yes, but very few coral heads, or at least because we went in the day, we were able to see all of them, so it wasn't a problem. wind has been calm and consistent, and we've been sailing at the pace of like a toddler or
A newborn giraffe.
we're making our way there slowly, and it's just been calm. And I just feel like the calmness of the sea is reflected in my heart. I'm so corny. But no, I mean it. I feel like it just feels calm out here. And there's no cell phone signal. There's no emails to check. There's no social media. There's no anything, right? It's just you. Well, and you here. You're here too. It's us. And all of the things that are stressful, it's like they don't exist anymore. I like it out here.
It's nice.
Maybe we'll start doing crossings a lot. It's like
Downwind ones.
therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically downwind ones.
It's been pretty nice. They started getting a little swelly, and she's like, oh, it's getting really swelly. There's like 2-foot waves. I said, yeah, it's because the water's getting deeper, and I look down, we're in 13 feet of water. It's deep. It's like, wow, careful. Yeah, yeah. Before we were looking at the chart and thought, okay, if one of us falls overboard, just swim like 50 feet that way, and it's only 3 feet deep, and you can just stand up. I mean, it's comforting in some regards.
Just kick the sharks in the cup.
Yeah, just push them away. Just keep them in the deep water. Yeah, like a stick.
What stick?
Probably trees. It is crazy that it's 12 feet deep and you can't see land in any direction. I feel like you should be able to.
It's because it's just a great bank.
It's a great Bahama bank. That's where we are.
It is 7:30. The wind was supposed to end.
PM.
Yes. It was 7:30 p.m. The wind was supposed to die about 6 hours ago. We got an updated weather report this morning that says we should be able to have wind for at least a little while longer. So we've had an extra 6 hours of sailing so far, and it's not looking like it's going to die off anytime soon. We'll see if we can download the next weather report for, well, I don't know. How many days out did you get?
So last one I got said it should die like midday tomorrow. But we'll check it again before we go to bed.
Yeah.
Those things goes down.
It takes like half the day to just download the weather. That might be an over-exaggeration, but it takes a while.
It depends.
Because we're doing it
Sometimes
with the
does.
satellite.
Yeah.
Not the best connection out here, as you can imagine. 0 bars.
But you're about to text your mom.
Yes, I was just going to check in. I can send text messages with the satellite phone. Very basic.
You're all done. Girl.
Good boy, Dingo.
Yeah, that was half of you.
Penny wants to turn.
Oh, you want some more? Good girl, Penny. Good girl. Pick. Hold on. Oh, Dingo wants some more. Good boy. Yeah, that's so much dingo hairs.
You look so happy. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Anybody who says dogs don't belong on a boat, here's some more evidence for your case. Oh my goodness. Look what you've done. It's everywhere. Usually this all gets out while they swim or at the beach. She wants it again.
What do you think of Resident Evil?
That's all I can think about right now. I don't know if I should be grateful or like very angry, but Brett downloaded only 3 episodes. But he did download 3 episodes. So we just started Resident Evil. Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah, Netflix original.
And we're 2 episodes in, which means we only have 1 episode left. And after that, we have to wait till we get back to, get the passage over to finish watching it.
We have to write our own ending.
It's crazy. It's intense. I have so many ideas where the plot's gonna go. They don't end well.
None of them.
No.
Sun is just going down on, technically day 3, night 3.
Yep.
But it'll be our first overnight sail of this passage.
We haven't gotten off the boat.
No.
Which I guess people do that all the time.
Yeah.
We get off the boat so much because of the dogs.
Right.
I was talking to my friend the other day and she's like, I haven't been off the boat in 3 weeks. I was like, really?
I haven't been off in 3 hours. Pretty sky. I think the color up there is from the Saharan dust, which is what has kept us from having hurricanes.
Really extended our period.
It really gave us a whole nother month basically of Bahamas cruising. Thank you, Saharan dust. Think we'll ever get Mercedes running again?
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day. I think if our outboard breaks, if Yamaha goes out, I think Mercedes will be repaired. But
Step up.
Until then, I think it's just bait. If anybody wants to steal something, maybe they'll just grab that and go.
Kind of what we're hoping for. Except for we haven't taken it off in so long that this one right here is so corroded that you actually can't turn it without without a wrench. So they'd have to really want it.
They probably won't.
Probably not. Should we catch a fish? Do you think we should catch a fish? See a fish?
You know what I'm most grateful for is the weather.
Yeah.
The temperature, the climate. Obviously, it's really good weather, really great sailing conditions, but I'm specifically talking about the temperature and the humidity level. And it is perfection. I don't know what temperature it is. I don't know what the humidity level is, but it's perfect. It's the exact climate that you can just be naked and you're not too cold and you're not too hot. You don't need any shade and you don't need any sweaters. It's just like that perfect, like very comfortable.
Yeah.
Really
It
nice.
is cooling down a little bit. I can feel I'm gonna want a shirt here soon.
The
I
sun
was
is going
grateful
down.
looking in I can see the galley right here, and there's cups all on the counter and all sorts of stuff, and they're still standing. That's what I'm grateful for.
Downwind sailing's nice.
Downwind sailing's great.
I understand why people do it this way all around the world.
Right? Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I feel like they might have the right idea there.
Yeah. I think we may have just gotten the downwind sailing bug.
It's just comfortable.
It's nice. Did dishes today. We made
It's not
food.
fun, though.
It's not. Well, it's a different kind of
pleasant,
fun.
and it's joyful, and
I'm having fun with you. Are you not having fun hanging out with me?
I am having fun. You know what I mean.
I know. It's not exhilarating. There's no adrenaline.
It's not
There's
like,
no
"Let's
excitement.
go!"
Yeah.
Right? It's more just like, elevator
Yeah,
music.
it's like, okay, I guess I'll make some tea.
Don't you feel like it's elevator music sailing?
No.
Uh-huh.
Maybe like Jack Johnson.
Definitely Jack Johnson.
Yeah. Not like Metallica.
No, but we've had some Metallica sales for sure.
She's still keeping an eye out for the fish. Penny, are there any fishes?
You know how breastfeeding moms, it's like 32 hours a week or something like that. I don't remember what it was. A significant amount of time they spend feeding their babies. And I feel like the amount of time Penny spends waiting for fish is equivalent.
Did we ever talk about the bird?
Basically like a job.
I don't think we ever talked about the bird last night.
Spencer?
Yeah, Spencer.
Tell them about Spencer.
You can. Go ahead.
We just had this hitchhiker last night.
Okay, I'll tell them.
Okay, last night we're cruising downwind, and all of a sudden this bird comes and he's flying that way away from us, but towards us at the same time. It kept messing with my brain because he's flying that way, like aft, but yet he's coming this way towards us. I was like, what? How is this happening? It's because we're flying downwind, so he's flying into the wind, which is coming from behind us. Anyways, he comes and he lands on our Bimini, which of course the dogs go wild because there's a bird in the middle of nowhere and it just landed on our boat.
I had to make some serious threats.
Yeah, there were death threats, at least strangling threats.
No. That's horrible, no. But I was very excited for the bird and did not want the dogs to eat it.
Oh yeah, the bird was exhausted. You could tell. The bird landed and it was just like panting. Like it doesn't have, I don't think they stick their tongue out, but if it could, it would be more like this.
At one point the bird landed on the grill and Penny was just like watching it for a long time, and so I'm like, okay, she's being chill about it. I look away and I feel like I looked away and I looked back and immediately she's like, I look away and she's like 3 feet closer. It was like a movie.
Yeah,
Probably
a good 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours, yeah.
Just sitting there staring at the bird.
I think her neck's probably sore.
It probably is.
It's like basically she could have painted the ceiling all day. That's probably how her neck feels
Sounds like
today.
Michelangelo.
No, I was thinking like
Is it
me
Da
and my
Vinci?
mom.
Who did the Sistine Chapel?
That was Leonardo DiCaprio.
The actor. I feel like I do need to clarify. The Leonardo DiCaprio joke was obviously a joke because Jade is an art major and she knows her Leonardos quite well. Especially DiCaprio.
Did you say especially the Michelangelos?
No, it's especially the DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, I know him quite well.
Yeah.
With the nearly full moon came a little bit... Okay, I know I said that it was like the perfect temperature, and it was. It was. But it has now cooled down to a brisk, I don't know, 3 degrees colder than it was earlier. So now I'm wearing a sweater. And I think I'm just going to go tuck into bed. I'm going to take the first sleep shift. It's going to be a really calm night, really chill. So I think I'll go tuck in for a couple hours and then I'll come out here and I'll read my book and Brett will sleep. And I think that we'll just repeat that throughout the night. What are you going to do while I'm sleeping? My activity tonight I think is going to be reading.
I'll probably listen to my book.
You'll listen to that?
Audiobook.
How are your space galaxy wars going?
Oh man, they're nuts.
The AI is taking over? Yep. Sci-fi or fantasy? My book's fantasy.
Mine's sci-fi.
And his is sci-fi. Where does your preference lie? And also, is your sci-fi versus fantasy preference the same as the first book you read? Because I heard somewhere that if when you're a kid, you know, you're 10 years old and you're starting to read novels and you read your first like
Science fiction. No, not science fiction.
your
Fantasy.
first, not fantasy either, like pretend.
Fiction.
Okay, you pick up a book and that book is either fantasy or it is sci-fi. You know, it's King Arthur and it's dragons, or it's like fairies and unicorns, right? Fantasy. Or it is like space and
Spaceships and aliens.
yeah, exactly. And so that book you read will determine whether or not you're a fantasy or a sci-fi person for the rest of your life. So I'm curious I think I ended up being a fantasy person because of reading the Magic Treehouse books. I feel like that was pretty fantasy-ish. And then I read The Hobbit.
Wait, what book?
The Magic Treehouse?
Magic School Bus?
No, The Magic Treehouse. The Magic School Bus was a show.
I know.
Also fantasy. Though arguably could be sci-fi.
Yeah, that's what I was like, man, I don't know. I remember Magic Treehouse.
No, I think probably The Hobbit got me hooked on on fantasy.
Yeah.
What was your first sci-fi book, Brett?
No, I have no idea. Harry Potter?
I thought sci-fi. Ooh, Aragon. That was one of my early fantasy books.
I read Aragon.
Dragons. Love them. I'm going to hand the camera off to Brett, and I'll check in with you guys in a few hours. I think so.
The Vortan could have flown through normal space within a day, but it was a change.
I just slept for 2 hours, and I think it might be the best 2 hours of sleep I have ever gotten while underway. I slept really well. I was like starfished on the bed. And now it's my shift to be awake for 2 hours and to keep an eye on this weather. So this guy can sleep.
Yay! I'm pretty sleepy. Well, we have just reached the point in the night where the wind is gone. There is basically no wind. Last I checked, it was 4 knots. We're still doing like 2.5, 3. We're wing on wing. We just put it out. Jade popped her head out for a second. It's almost our time to be up. But we decided to go another hour, give her another hour of sleep. Because I really feel like my coffee just kicked in like 30 minutes ago. So I am wired. I am very awake right now. So like, no, go to sleep. I'll give you another hour and then I will sleep in an hour, like hour 15. So we just kind of shifted our schedules a little bit, which is fine. I was really tired my first sleep shift, and I'm not this time, so it works out. But man, you can hear the sails flapping. I'll show you here in a second. And we're just kind of bobbing. We don't have anything pressing when we get to Florida. There isn't any key moment that we need to get there for. We should be uploading a video tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. So sorry if the whatever week this was that you just missed. We're fine. But look at the moon. It is so bright out here. It is beautiful. It is 4 in the morning right now.